Thank you. Senator Barrasso.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Good to see you again, Mr. Secretary. Thanks for the great job you're doing. A couple of questions. I think during your initial hearing for this position, we talked about leasing and permitting for energy development. I thought it was a disaster under the previous administration. Can you just talk a little bit about what actions the department has taken over the past number of months to correct course and what it plans to do in the next fiscal year?
Thank you, Senator. Well, first of all, part of what we're doing is trying to reverse some of the activity which didn't follow the law last time around, because part of what precedes permitting sometimes is leasing, and the federal government under the Biden administration was, as proven by court, states took the federal government, the Biden administration, to court. Biden administration lost. They were supposed to be holding lease sales. They weren't. When they don't hold a lease sale, that's lost revenue to the American public. So again, trying to get back on track on both onshore and offshore lease sales, both in the lower 48, the Gulf of America, in Alaska, has been a big effort. On the permitting standpoint, we're getting closer to putting up a transparency dashboard, which will be able to show by department, by state, by permit type, where permits are in the process, how many days they've been in the queue. I think that this kind of shining this light on this will help the public and others understand, just how much red tape we've created, but it'll also create an opportunity for us to accelerate. We also quietly announced that we felt that we could get an environmental assessment, an EA, done in less than 14 days, and that we could get a EIS done in less than 28 days. On the pilots that we've done already, both of those have been accomplished. Correct. People have said, how is that even possible that you can reduce something by such a factor? But it turns out that if you're doing an EA and somebody works on it for a few hours and they pass it on to somebody else and it sits on their desk for a month, and then they pick it up, they work on it, they pass it on. By the time you get a year's gone by, we've got an opportunity where we can put more minutes on mission, more time on task in 2 weeks than what they might have put in a year, and the quality product that we can put up at the end of that will inform the decisions that the private sector and public local political subdivisions need to make. So I know that we can actually deliver a work product faster, but Great. This is about improved business processes. And of course, in your state, we are now, in a few weeks, we're going to be permitting new mining operations for the first time in decades in this country, and we've approved it for the first time in Montana, some mining operations. So again, we're back. This nation has to get back in the mining game. We've got to get back in the energy development game, and we're pleased to be part of that.
In addition, we talk about my state. After the Biden administration lost the election, they came out with some punishing things. Out of office, they lose the House, lose the Senate, lose the White House, and their Bureau of Land Management finalized what was the Rock Springs Resource Management Plan, which is the final plan is punishing to the state of Wyoming, devastate the people and the economy of Southwest Wyoming, locked up millions of acres of land, the local communities, the entire state relies upon. Can you just talk about what the department's doing now?
Well, the Rock Springs RMP, and as well as the Buffalo one, these were a couple of things that were incredibly egregious that weren't really management plans. They were creating new concepts out of whole cloth that was really meant to restrict all forms of land use as opposed to follow the multi-use mandate that we're given. So those are under review, and we hope to get back to following the law and make sure that the citizens of Wyoming and those private landowners that live in those areas have an opportunity that they have the same opportunities to thrive that others do without the heavy hand of government.
And we knew, as in your home state and in mine, we're very fortunate to have great relationships across the state between private, state, federal partners. In Lander, Wyoming, there's a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Office that serves both tribal nations, the Northern Arapaho, the Eastern Shoshone, on the Wind River Reservation, along with our neighboring counties. The office does valuable work for Wyoming, such as big game monitoring, studies of wildlife disease, grizzly bear management, habitat restoration. There's been some confusion on the status of the office and whether the staff are currently present or not. Can you give us an update on the current status of the Fish and Wildlife Office there?
The Lander, Wyoming office is an important office, and we're going to make sure that it's staffed and able to execute against their important duties and do that from the Lander office as opposed to working remotely from someplace else.
Great. In terms of sage grouse, we're the home of a large population of greater sage grouse and habitat. For over 15 years, Wyoming has been in the forefront of adopting and paying for new management approaches to protect the species. Biden administration proposed to designate over 600,000 acres as so-called areas of critical environmental concern, which is basically a way of locking up the land. Is the department planning on reopening the greater sage grouse management plan? Do you know?
Yeah, the greater sage grouse is neither on the threatened or endangered species, and this critical habitat you described, again, is another whole cloth creation that effectively creating a wilderness area out of nothing. And so we're taking a hard look at that because we want to get back to following the actual law.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.